Archimex login confirmed.
Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
The Lodgecast Experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
The Lodgecast is a little podcast where we watch weird movies, so you don't have to.
The Lodgecast, baby.
Lodgecast, gonna smoke grass. Lodgecast, listen movie pass. Lodgecast,
We're gonna watch some crap,
Lodgecast,
and then the Lodge Master chats.
With Lucas and Bishki.
Episode 81, Sir Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace.
Hello and welcome to an unprecedented edition of the Lodgecast tonight. We are filling the edge to the tip-top brim with guests. I'm your Lodge Master. With me as always is Brother Bishki.
Hi.
Brother Lucas in the way back.
Can you get me in the back? Hello.
And because it's a Tyler Perry movie tonight, Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace.
Oh wait, guys, I think the
pizza's here. We are going to
I'll get it.
We're going to take a pause and grab the pizza, and then we're going to be right back magically at the snap of my fingers. Boom! And we're back. So because it's a Tyler Perry movie, we have the Lodge Mistress Millie.
Yeah.
Who is the official and unofficial Tyler Perry thriller specialist. And we also have Brother Ben.
Hello, hello.
Who is the official and unofficial Tyler Perry comedy specialist. And in addition to that, we have a Tyler Perry virgin who has never seen a Tyler Perry movie before. And that is the one, the only, Brother Josh.
I'm looking forward to having my cherry pop tonight.
Oh my God. We are looking forward to being in the presence of that cherry being popped. Tonight's movie is, have we settled on this? Is it A Fall from Grace?
Correct. Yes.
Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace. As far as I know, it's his first Netflix endeavor. And what do we think that's going to mean? Specialists, do you have any ideas as far as if this is going to be a shot up in quality or a lateral pass? What are we thinking?
Well, if I know Netflix, and I do.
You do.
Spent a lot of time with it. No, I don't think Netflix really weighs in on what you do. I think it's just going to be Tyler. I think he's going to be doing what he does.
Yeah. I just think Tyler Perry Productions is just a factory churning the shit out. It doesn't matter if it's going to Lionsgate. It doesn't matter if it's going to Paramount. It doesn't matter if it's going to Netflix.
You don't think there's going to be any difference? You think he's just doing what he does, keeping his head down and cranking them?
He's an auteur no matter who he does it for.
Yeah.
I like that. I, for one, feel like there's going to be a little added sheen to this. I think he's going to be bringing a little bit of extra chutzpah to the table. But I could be wrong. I don't know the plot of this, but I just feel in my bones that there's going to be some courtroom intrigue. I feel like he's going to get a hold of a courtroom set and we're going to be planted there for a while. And I hope that's not the case.
Interesting.
I really hope that's not the case because sometimes in these movies, they think they can give you an hour of razzle dazzle, and then the second hour they can just plant you in the courtroom. It's the body of evidence disease that infects so many movies.
Who's the lead of this picture?
No clue.
No clue.
No.
I think Tyler Perry's in it. I think.
Is he?
Oh.
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
What a thriller.
And I think Phylicia Rashad is in it
Yes.
from The Cosby Show, which is always a welcome presence. Now, Brother Josh, what do you expect from this? Like, I'm sure you've been hearing third-hand information from Brother Ben and from the world at large. What do you want to get out of tonight?
Honestly, I'm going in with this with like zero expectations.
Perfect.
Like, I feel like the only Tyler Perry movie that I would kind of know what I would be getting into would be like a Medea movie.
Sure.
You know, I would expect zany old lady antics out of Tyler Perry, but I'm not really familiar with his thrillers a whole lot. Like, I know the plot of like one of them, some crazy HIV shit,
Yes,
but like,
yes.
which I think is a recurring theme.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Tyler told us to not spoil it, so
he did. Tyler Perry was on Instagram today making an express
aboard his private plane.
Aboard his private plane, making an express command to us all to not spoil the plot twists. I hope there are plot twists to be spoiled.
It's easy not to spoil the plot twists when there's no other passengers on your flight.
We're opening night VOD,
This
by
is
the way.
oh yes, we are watching this on VOD, but we are still inside the edge, reporting the facts to you. So we will be trying to keep it muted. We'll try to keep it professional during the screening. And we will try to give Brother Josh just the cleanest, most direct shot into his heart that he can possibly take. I can't wait. And this is going to open the floodgates for you, hopefully. Hopefully you'll get a taste of something where you'll crave more. You'll want to dig deeper and go deeper.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared to just like binge the rest of his filmography for like the next month.
I love it. Let's hope this is a properly tasty appetizer for you. Let's stop our conjecture and go straight to the source, which is Netflix.
Ba-boom.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. Bye.
Who are you talking to?
Grace,
Yeah?
there's two things I don't like. One is being checked up on, and the other is being questioned.
Holy shit, you guys. We are back. I think we're all still alive. I think we all survived. Before we do the post-mortem and really get into the hows and whys and whats and holy shits.
Fishy! What's that shot?
From Rotten Tomatoes, Grace Waters, Crystal Fox, a longtime pillar of her Virginia community, stays composed when her ex weds his mistress and her son moves away. With convincing from her best friend Sarah, Phylicia Rashad, she tries putting herself first, and a handsome stranger, Mikad Brooks, becomes her surprise second love. Yet any woman can snap, and Grace's new husband soon ravages her life, her work, and many say her sanity.
Many say.
Shuttered in a cell, awaiting trial for his murder, Grace's only hope for vindication lies with Jasmine Bryant, Bresha Webb, a public defender who has never tried a case. Period.
There it is. I like your period. That we know it's finished then.
Yeah.
Because these tend to go on.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. If you're a woman trying to put yourself first in a Tyler Perry movie, look out. Because you're about to get smacked the fuck down. So we started this movie. It had the Netflix logo. Then it had the Tyler Perry logo. They are forever intertwined now. If he makes no more movies for Netflix, this will stand as the towering beacon of his Netflix tenure. And I have to summon the Salad Dragon right away.
The Salad Dragon. A scene in a movie that is so bizarre, baffling, or transcendent that it instantly justifies the price of admission. Or Reese Witherspoon's leafy transformation in A Wrinkle in Time.
Now, you guys, I don't know if you guys were counting. I counted 6 Salad Dragons. I just summoned an entire horde of Salad Dragons. The very first scene is a Salad Dragon. Like,
Agreed.
to start a movie like this.
Yeah.
There are people, even within this Edge tonight, that this will be their first Tyler Perry movie. What a way to start. I mean, this
start
is
with this.
first class all the way. Josh, what did you see?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
That was so long ago.
Wait.
There's an old lady standing on a roof.
Mrs. Spellman.
Holy shit. Like, she's suicidal. She's wanting to jump from a roof.
Just in a nightgown.
Yeah, in a nightgown, crying about how everything's gone, and then some first responders trying to coax her in, and then all of a sudden a helicopter like flies in for no reason whatsoever, and she just falls to her death.
And then we hit the title.
A fall from grace.
A fall from grace. I mean, right off the bat, he just plunges you into it because he knows for a while you're going to be sitting around wondering what the fuck he's up to on this one. Like, this one takes a while to get going. After that adrenaline shot of an intro, I was really worried, Josh. I was really worried that we weren't going to get you what you needed, get you the nutrients that your body craved tonight. But holy shit, I just had to wait just a little bit. We were all taking notes. That's the other great thing about VOD is that you don't have to worry about offending other theater patrons in the dark. You can just whip out your phone and write down every single thing that hit you funny. What were you guys feeling right off the bat? I mean, the flatness of the lighting and the sets alone is pure TP.
Yeah.
Pure TP,
Sub-porn quality.
You know, you were asking about, is there going to be a difference with Netflix?
Right.
It felt to me like this was Tyler Perry had taken notes on the set of Gone Girl.
Interesting.
And so he was like, okay, I'm going to shoot in scope. I've never seen a Tyler Perry movie in scope.
Yes.
You know, there's the crazy blue sheen. He's like timing everything super blue. So it's very very Fincher, very I don't know.
Andy's
I was
been watching Investigation Discovery
exactly.
a lot,
It was
especially with the plot.
Yes.
So we get to know this is it Jasmine?
Yeah.
She's a public defender. Her husband or boyfriend is the first responder from the first scene, and it's weighing heavily on his mind. And the bedroom that they share together has a breaker box on the wall.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of art, and then a big circuit breaker box.
Like what? Like, are you looking behind your characters? Well, more on that later. Things happening in the background of this movie, but the lighting, the sets, the music, it's all very basic Tyler, which is good. Like, you don't want him to change for Netflix. Don't ever change Tyler. And then he shows up. He is Jasmine's boss. And Tyler Perry has this amazing wig beard combo. Like, how would you describe this look? It is amazing.
It's like Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Yes, yes. And even though this is a drama, quote unquote, / thriller, quote unheavy quote, he can't help himself to put a little bit of his improvisational razzle dazzle into every scene. It's not supposed to be funny, but he's always he'll have a few extra lines after the lines that move the plot forward.
Yeah, I enjoyed his performance. You know what I mean? I mean, right when she walked in and sat down face to face, you know, with old Tyler, I was like, all right. I feel like he grounded it. I mean,
But he
even
didn't
though
really give himself like an entrance shot. Like, we didn't even know it was him until the reverse, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I knew it was him right away.
I did too.
I know
I
his
did too.
posture.
He was a little too loose. I said at one point he didn't even write his scenes. Like, he just winged it.
Oh, nothing was written.
Because it was so loose.
Nothing was written.
And
at all.
every take felt like a first kind of rehearsal take. Like, he just was, you know, faxing it in, as they say. Like, he played it a little too cool.
So Tyler Perry's great. She's a public defender, and just like in all the other Tyler Perry movies we've seen, the main character's job is like painstakingly detailed. Like, they go through all the steps. Like, you went to college, you got this job, it felt great to have a job, but now you got student loans to pay off. That's what you got to do, pay off your student loans. And it's like, it's nowhere near the plot of the movie, but it's always spelled out as if like he's insecure about establishing a realistic like employment situation, professional environment, which he should be self-conscious about that, because everything rings a little false.
After the battery scene in Acrimony,
Young Josh, when you experience Tyler Perry's Acrimony, you are in for such a treat. There's a battery that this man invents that they really go into detail about. But I digress. We meet Phylicia Rashad, and she is introduced from behind, hunched over a trash can, which is very interesting. Like, her friend is in prison. Her name's Grace from the title, and she is up for going away for life for killing her husband.
She's killed her, he's slowly going to unravel. Why would a wife kill her husband?
Right.
Like, nothing is as it seems.
Yeah.
And so through a series of flashbacks,
Which is a classic Tyler Perry style. I was waiting for that to kick in. That was the familiarity that I was waiting for.
Yes, and it takes a minute to get there.
You spend a lot of time meeting with the accused in the holding cell.
And meeting her legal team.
And it just goes on, and you're just like, where is this going, Tyler? What are you doing?
Once we get to that flashback sequence, I mean, that is when it was like,
the rubber hit the road.
It was mainlining the Tyler Perry cinematic universe, and I was in fucking heaven.
It was it was so great. So she flashes back to talking to Phylicia Rashad, her friend, about getting back in the dating scene. And she's like, just go on christiandateonline.com, which if nobody owns that, we got to get that. And it's great. Like, once we start seeing her outside of prison and kind of leading up to this fateful encounter that she's about to have, I mean, my God, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, so how does it happen? She tells her to go on a date.
Yeah, Phylicia Rashad is like, I know this art installation that's going on. It's like a photo installation of Ethiopian
tribes
tribes that were photographed. So she goes to it, and then when she gets there, there's the photographer's name is Shannon. So she's like, oh, it has to be a woman, and it has to be an Ethiopian woman.
Yes.
And then Shannon shows up.
Oh my God.
This is the guy.
This is one of the all-time male characters of any medium or any piece of art I have ever seen. His name is Shannon Deshawn DeLong, and he's got a giant flat top in 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I kind of had a Busta Rhymes quality.
Busta Rhymes in the face, Keith Sweat everywhere else.
Yeah.
And I was enamored with this guy. What a fucking specimen this dude is. You can tell Tyler hand selected him. Ben mentioned probably off Instagram DMs or something, but he plucked this guy, and I hope this guy shows up and everything, and I hope he keeps his flat top. Like, it is amazing. And he just starts hitting on her straight away, and she is loving it. That gallery scene is amazing. Jasmine, she goes to Phylicia's house in present day, so we keep flashing back and forth because she might want to take this case to court. It might not be as cut and dry as it seems. So she goes to her house, and we see they have like this long conversation in her kitchen, and then we see Cicely Tyson, gaunt and creepy, out of nowhere, slithering around in the back like a fucking Japanese horror villain.
Yeah, a 90-year-old woman.
Like something out of Hereditary.
A genuine creep. A genuine creep.
I think that's the scariest moment of any movie that I've seen in the past.
That's got to be one of the 6 salad dragons, right?
That's not even on my list.
What? It's on mine.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not?
That's number 2.
I thought it telegraphed too much, honestly.
Well, it did in the long run, but we're just like, what? I thought Tyler Perry might just forget about that. Like,
Yeah.
he's that kind of filmmaker.
It was pretty brilliant, like, because it stayed in the back of my mind, but it kept getting farther back in my mind.
because
the whole movie.
and then immediately after that, then we're back to another flashback, and it's like a montage of dates, right?
Well,
am I out of?
Well, there's the first.
There's the first date, which is another salad dragon.
Very important.
This is the third salad dragon, and this is a date where he asks her out, and he says he knows a quaint little hole-in-the-wall diner.
Oh.
And so you imagine if this were a movie, it would be kind of an atmospheric, kind of interesting diner. Maybe, if it had to be bright and garish, it would be like the Pulp Fiction diner, maybe. No. Smash cut to like
a truck
Johnny
stop.
Rockets.
Just like a Johnny Rockets with like fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
And that is when we encountered I mean, that alone is a salad dragon, but that's when we encounter one of the most charming background characters that we've ever encountered. Who can explain this man?
The man looks at the camera probably for a full minute.
He's an elderly man. Is he eating eggs?
Yeah, eggs.
Picking at cold room temperature scrambled eggs that he refuses to eat.
But always lifting like an empty fork to his mouth.
He's not eating it. He's not eating it, and he's looking directly at the camera.
Just straight into the lens.
I forget who said it. Like, they're asking, is he going to shoot one of these characters? Like, it's just
He really
so
seems like
intense.
he's involved. And what's happening on the date is hilarious too, because they're getting like really intimate. They're ordering wine at this diner,
Drinking white wine at Johnny Rocket.
Diner wine,
Not coffee.
Hashtag diner wine. So that's amazing. Then they go on a walk, and like the lighting is so bad that like large chunks of time he's completely in like dark shadow, passing under street lights, and you're just like, Tyler.
But so there's the shadows, but then there's also this stuff where they're just flooding the set with light, and it is blowing everyone out. It looked
It's
like
one way or the other for him.
It looked like 2005 Michael Mann stuff at night, where the digital, it just like it's bleeding everywhere.
Very
it
digital.
was amazing.
Then she's like on a high after her date, and she takes one of the most inelegantly shot showers that I've ever witnessed. She steps into this shower, and they just have like a cheesy shot from below of like a basic shower head turning on, and then the water's hitting her wig all weird, and they're making her smile. Like you can just hear him in the background be like, "You're full of love again. You're full of love. You're tingling in your body again. Smile." You see what he's going for, but what's actually ending up on screen is just gives you the opposite sensation, which I love. I love to death.
It's just a beautiful falling in love montage.
It's great.
Yeah.
She's falling asleep at work. She's buying a hot dog with this guy at like a random hot dog vendor with like a bunch of extras, like almost cheering them on, like buying their hot dog. She falls asleep on the phone, and the phone just kind of slips out of her hand. And it's VO this whole time. So she's telling you she's like, I've been falling asleep at work. She doesn't talk about the hot dogs, but then she's like, we even fell asleep on the phone one time.
But it was at this point where I took my first note, and it was during one of those rambling like voiceovers where if you just tune out a little bit, it can go on forever and you can get lost.
Lucas zoned the fuck out.
You get totally lost. But I realized in that moment that Tyler Perry definitely has a prescription for Adderall, because like these just feel like these manic
the Adderall monologues.
These writing sessions where he's just rambling.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's nobody editing or censoring.
No,
like, anything.
who would be? He owns his entire filmmaking universe.
Yeah.
So,
and it felt like he did the scene design. It felt like he did the music, because it was all so basic. I mean, it felt like he did everything.
he had his hand in all of it for sure. So this is all leading to Salad Dragon number 4, which floored us.
Is the top salad dragon, like the peak.
This is the top of 2020 for sure. I mean, we haven't had too many yet, but what is going to top this?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's two-pronged. So it's basically 2 in 1. There's a tableau kind of out of Melancholia where it's like this hillside with these really saturated flowers. And
It looked like they'd been transplanted.
yes.
I also felt like it had a Wizard of Oz vibe where all of a sudden they were like definitely on a stage.
But it was at night.
It's a surreal scene.
But her eyes are closed, or her eyes are closed.
That's right.
He's gonna surprise her, but there's just flowers there, so that's not enough.
And so she's a little weirded out. She says, I feel hard grass on my feet, which kind of set me off. I was like, wait, what does that mean? And so I was kind of out of it when shit went down. He starts spinning her around. And what did you guys see?
I thought I was hallucinating.
I did too. I was
legit.
I rubbed my eyes.
I legit was like, am I seeing shit?
There was a delayed reaction in my lizard brain where I was blinking for maybe 3 full seconds before my brain told me to start laughing.
It hits later.
And I started laughing so hard because what happens is he tells her to open her eyes and spin around, and these CG,
the digiest,
like that Tyler Perry probably rendered himself, like fireflies, but they're like so many of them.
They're like orbs.
They're just like superimposed.
Golden orbs
over the
rise
scene.
up from the flowers. And she opens her eyes and she's just like, we got to get a jar to catch them. And you're just like, no, you're not passing those off as fireflies. Those are like golden, sparkly orbs that have arisen from the earth and are tormenting us and making us think we are hallucinating.
PlayStation 2 looking thing.
PlayStation Deuce. Totally. So while she's dealing with these quote unquote fireflies, he gets down on his knee and he proposes to her. And in the face of such majesty, I mean, I would say yes. If I was surrounded by super digi PS2 fireflies, what are you going to do? Say no? So
smash cut.
Smash. The hardest, the smashiest cut we've ever seen. And this is what fucking floored us. She hasn't slept with him yet. She's been keeping him at bay. They've been dating for months.
For a long time.
And so he proposes to her. She says yes. Smash cut to her on top of him in bed, just grinding away. Just deep strokes, deep strides.
Through the romantic haze of the mosquito net.
It's like this gauze hanging down from their four-post bed. It's the most realistic shagging I've seen.
60-year-old woman on top of Keith Sweat. Like.
We had to pause it. Everybody took a bathroom break. They did what they did in the bathroom. That's between them and God. But we had to take a break after that. We had to throw in a few towels and we had to collect ourselves. So it's hard to come back after that.
But by the way, there's a game I like to play with Tyler Perry movies. So like Mariah Carey was at the premiere at the Egyptian for this. And I'm just thinking like, what is Mariah Carey thinking?
What's she thinking during that?
What is she thinking? You know, does he send a screener to Oprah? Is Oprah watching the shit?
Yes.
Is Janet Jackson watching the shit?
Yes.
That's the game I like to play.
The answer to all of that is hell to the yes.
All those people have seen it, yeah.
And they've all signed off on it. They're like, yep, that's good. That's good entertainment. And you know what? They're right. They're fucking right. Josh, what did you think when you saw that grinding?
Honestly, like, that man is just such a hot unit of a man.
Yes.
I was like, I wish I was Crystal Fox right now.
Crystal Fox. Let's say a little something about Crystal Fox, who plays the titular Grace. She sells it.
Mm-hmm. She's dialed in, yeah.
She's dialed in, not just during that sex scene, but throughout.
She
Her first intro is.
I mean, this is the thing about Tyler Perry. He can get some amazing performances from these actors. He can get some terrible performances, just like really bad like performances, but then he gets these amazing actress performances.
Because they're ready. They're ready to go melodrama city.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready. They're committed.
Atomic melodrama is what this is.
But do you think he directs them, or do you think he just lets them
I think it's half
rip?
and half. I think
and half.
half the battle is just saying, let it rip. Like that's the direction. I've given you that direction before. I'm like, let it rip. Ham sandwich. Go.
Yeah, I think the energy of just go, the quickness of the shooting and all of that.
It adds to it. You got to go full force every time.
Phylicia Rashad doesn't have like a minute to even second guess what she's doing.
Absolutely
Just go.
Not. Absolutely not. So the movie is about half over at this point. It keeps going. It marches on. Pretty much after this epic grind sesh, shit goes downhill.
Shannon turns on a dime, as characters often do in Tyler Perry dramas.
On a dime. And his turn is fantastic. He goes from lovey-dovey to just ice cold. She's asleep in bed. She creeps downstairs because she hears him on the phone, and he's like on the phone. He's like, yeah, did you get the fireflies? Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about fireflies. And he hangs up and she's like, who was that you were talking to? And he turns around stone cold and he says, there's two things I don't like. One is being checked up on. Two is being questioned. The basic piano score hits and we're off to the races. It's a different movie now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful. So we see her at work, and the color scheme at the bank is great too. It's like teal and pink.
Yeah.
And we see this like procession of like bald old white dudes walk past her office, each one of them looking in like they're the fucking seven dwarfs or something. And they call her into this conference room and they inform her that $300,000 some have been taken out of the bank with her authorization.
Yeah, someone took all her passwords. It's like identity theft, but because she's a banker, like I think they've stolen money from like all her clients or something like that. Yeah.
They fire her immediately.
On the spot.
She also finds out that a mortgage has been taken out on her house. Her life's turning upside down. And in the VO, she says as much. She's telling you everything that you're seeing. Like, she's like, that's when my life really turned upside down. You're like, Tyler, do you want to leave any sort of mystery here? I don't think he does. She confronts him and she asks him about the fireflies. Who's this woman you've been talking fireflies with? And what does he show her?
Pictures of kids with cancer. He was talking with the nurses of these kids that have cancer, and he brought them to the fireflies.
And as a gift for her.
As a gift for her, so he could take the photos and make it beautiful.
And he has them as hard copies.
Yes, he has hard copies of these photos that he flops down onto the table. And that's when Ben turns to us and he's like, is he gaslighting her? I think he might be, Ben. I think he might
100%, yeah.
In my defense, I legit thought this was, because Tyler loves to throw in this shit where it's just like, hashtag not all men. I don't
Right.
like like the messages are always so muddled.
That's true. That's true. That's true. He doesn't like being accused of things. She accuses him of this money impropriety, and he throws his phone, and his phone smashes. And he has a pretty hot line there. He says, "You're lucky I got two phones." I mean, that's a pretty badass line.
Yeah.
Smash your own phone and then tell her she's lucky I have another phone.
Yeah, how do you write that? I don't know.
So basically, he's like,
live it.
He's basically like, we're married now, so everything you have belongs to me. You owe me that money. This is my house too. And he's just like chilling in her bed, like practically naked, like drinking beer and smoking. And he's like, you need to give me an ashtray.
And he's like, ashtray, bitch.
Ashtray, bitch.
It's amazing. Like, everybody's dialed up to 11 after this turn. She finds him completely naked with another woman. Like, shit just keeps escalating and turning up. It all kind of boils over into this scene where he gives a monologue about what she owes him. He says, you owe me that money, all that sex, all that joy I brought to your miserable life. and all the while, what is she doing in the background?
Just sitting there like Gayle King in that R. Kelly interview.
God.
She gets up. We see her out of focus. She grabs a baseball bat and proceeds to bash his fucking head in. Gore is flying everywhere. Blood is everywhere.
Brian De Palma would be proud.
I was going to say it is like Midsummer levels of like cranial violence.
Pure blood.
Salad Dragon number 5. His head is smashed. And I didn't know what this movie was rated. I guess Netflix doesn't have ratings.
Yeah, it's TV MA, yeah.
TV motherfucking MA for sure. Because that's like the most blood I've seen in a fucking movie in a while. It's just everywhere.
And
so
she picks him up.
She picks him up. She throws him down the stairs, even more blood. If you don't see anything else in this movie, which you should see this movie, but if you see nothing else, you gotta see this scene. Like, it is out of control. So what happens then?
She drives to the middle of nowhere, calls Phylicia Rashad, tells her to go to her basement where she threw the body. And then I don't know where, because all along this is flashback. And at some point we enter the courtroom.
We are plopped right where I said we were going to be.
Yeah.
In the motherfucking courtroom. It was body of evidence time. And thankfully, they bring us Salad Dragon number 6, which is a courtroom montage to end all courtroom montages. We are dissolving through witnesses that have no lines, that look like he just scooped them off the street.
I've never seen.
And that's where you get like the bad acting. That's like why the acting
The
is so all
terrible
over the
acting.
place with Tyler Perry films. I
The
feel like.
judge is hilarious. They'll dissolve to him and he'll just be like, sustained. On what grounds?
Like, have you ever seen a courtroom montage before? Because it was so, because getting stuck in a courtroom is one of the nightmares of movies, in my opinion.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
So to do a montage like that's like a minute or like 30 seconds long of just all these witnesses at once, it was so refreshing to me.
I loved the way he moved. It was like Tyler Perry was just as bored as we were by it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, we're kicking this thing into overdrive.
Yeah.
Then Jasmine, public defender, proceeds to be the worst lawyer that has ever existed. The prosecution rests. It's not looking good for her client. She's been called a murderer, and she calls no more witnesses. So then the next day, she suddenly wants to recall a witness, and the judge is like, no, that's not how courtrooms work. And she keeps doubling down until he throws her in jail.
Contempt of court, yeah.
And this is also a lawyer who said, instead of misdemeanor, she says Mr. Meaner.
Mr. Meter.
Yeah, yeah. All the time Tyler Perry's in the back of the courtroom shaking his head at her like, you stupid millennial. And we said it. We said, someone said like he's thinking she's a dumb millennial. And then he scolds her when she gets contempt of court. He's like, I guess that's a millennial thing.
I guess it's a millennial thing to not know what you're doing at your job. Like, it's so clear that Tyler has scorn for these millennials. Lucas, you awake?
Yeah, no, I'm
All right.
listening. I'm listening. It's-
Omniscient editorial note. Brother Lucas was fast asleep.
I think Jasmine is so entirely unlikable. And I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I don't think she has any redemption whatsoever in this movie. Because like
No.
from the opening where like her boyfriend is like, man, I had a rough day. I saw a lady kill herself. And she's like immediately like, where, my thing. What about my thing? It's like your boyfriend just saw someone die right in front of him. And you
cares
say
not.
nothing.
She cares not about her boyfriend's plight.
And then she just like, oh, this lady's guilty. This motherfucker's guilty. I don't care. Whatever. Like, I'm just like, whatever. She's just like any drug dealer that I'm, having to negotiate a plea deal.
But that's what I think. I think that's all sort of part of the message. I think she's like an entitled millennial
That's
who
Tyler Perry's
who
message.
thinks she can just
Yeah.
get. But then by the end, she does have a redemption.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
But Tyler Perry will, as you become more of a Tyler Perry veteran, the veteran of the Tyler Perry wars, you'll see that he often has one female protagonist that is virtuous and that makes it through. But there'll often be one that he just picks on.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
he's like making an example of.
Mm-hmm.
And she was definitely made an example of in this because she was so dumb. And he himself walks out to tell her just as much.
This is literally like subtext becoming text with like Tyler Perry himself.
Yes.
Literally being like, stupid millennials.
He gets off on it.
I feel like he's just giving the game away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think every thought in his head, he just plops out onto the page.
There's no game to give away. It's always just been him. And people, you either buy into his stock or you don't.
Yeah.
And we bought
into it.
We bought all of it. So we're here. Now, he did tell us not to give away the big twists and turns. And I do want to respect his wishes to a certain extent and give you, the listener, the opportunity to just stop right now. Just move the cursor over to Netflix.
Yeah, you guys, this is Netflix. It's not like sit down on your couch.
You don't have to go anywhere. Watch it.
Get a gummy, fire it up.
Get at least one gummy, one for each hour, and fire it up.
Yeah, but stop this podcast because we're about to spoil one of the all-time twists in cinema history.
Oh my God. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So turns out Phylicia Rashad is evil. She's not Grace's friend at all. She's actually the mom of Shannon Deshawn DeLong. Dun, dun, dun. So the clues come fast and furious. The cop boyfriend finds out that she's not who she said she was, and he's in the process of arresting somebody. He just leaves a dude cuffed and just peels off. He just leaves him cuffed. So there's millennial incompetence on every level in every character in this movie.
But like, not even like a good like comedic shot of the
No.
guy in handcuffs. It's just, you see him like it's almost like Tyler Perry forgot about him too.
Yes, it is like now you're starting to understand, Josh, what keeps you coming back to these like a moth to a flame. Like maybe he really didn't understand the implications of that, and they didn't have time. Maybe it was a second unit that they were shooting concurrently. So anyway, Jasmine, instead of getting a ride all the way to her work, she asked to be let out so she can walk for no reason other than shit's about to go down. Who does she encounter in the middle of the street?
Cicely motherfucking Tyson.
Cicely Tyson from earlier in her bathrobe, looking spooky as fuck.
Yeah.
She's a 95-year-old woman, and they have her walking out in the middle of this wet street. We were all just like, careful. She basically is like, we got to get you home. And Cicely's like, I mean, I'm not even going to attempt to do an impression of her character, but it's pretty fucking hilarious. She's basically like, don't take me back there. Don't want to go back there. Never take me back there.
I mean, I was genuinely worried. I did pipe in at that point, and I was like worried and nervous for that lady.
For Jasmine?
Not for Jasmine, for the elder later, for Cicely.
So
Cicely?
So she brings her back to Phylicia's house. The door's open, and they go in, and they sit down at that tried and true kitchen table. And suddenly they hear a clattering in the basement. And Cicely turns to Jasmine and is like, they hungry.
Another genuinely terrifying moment.
Terrifying. And that doesn't even begin to tell the terrors that lie ahead. Jasmine creeps down into the basement, and suddenly her ankle is grabbed by a disheveled old woman sitting on the ground asking for help. That spooks her, quite understandably. And she moves forward deeper into the basement, and there's like 8 or 9 old ladies chained
to a wall in dirty nightgowns.
Yes.
Kind of beat up.
In a dark ass basement.
Oh, God.
Sitting in their filth. And as Lucas pointed out, there was one in a red dress.
Yeah,
so
just the
creepy.
one.
And he was like, why is that one wearing a red dress? Why?
Wait, does that make this the 7th Salad Dragon?
This
Or the
is
6th?
Salad Dragon number 7.
Number 7.
Lucky number 7.
God, it's so insane. Just like seeing all these like
you're not ready
medical
for it.
Old women.
There's no way to be ready for this. I never knew that's what we were signing up for. But I was happy we were down there. And then the flat top of doom emerges out of the darkness, and Shannon, Deshawn, DeLong attacks our sweet Jasmine and ties her up. So then the husband shows up at Felicia's house, and what happens?
A fight ensues. He busts down the door, and then he fights Phylicia Rashad.
Who holds
Yeah.
her own.
Phylicia Rashad's stunt double, to be clear.
Well, yes.
They have a hilarious MMA struggle in the kitchen.
Like close quarters.
She hits him with a fucking frying pan.
Yeah.
She throws a bag of groceries at him.
Yep.
She throws a full bag of soft groceries at his head, which he bats away somehow. So he knocks Phylicia down.
He cuffs her and he says, stay right here.
Oh, yeah.
He only cuffed her
So this,
hands.
yeah, Tyler Perry showed you that this cop will leave cuffed people run.
He's an incompetent cuffer.
He's an incompetent cover. So he cuffs them, and then boom, they're gone. Like, yeah.
They head downstairs, and he comes to blows with Shannon, Deshawn, DeLong. His head did get beaten in with a baseball bat. That wasn't faked. So he has a big bandage around
Mummy
his head.
bandage.
Yeah.
Big mummy bandage around his head. His flat top's still poking through at the top. But they struggle in... They didn't shoot it very well at all.
No.
There's like a camera looking down from over top of the room. It's dark. Darker than Buffalo Bill's lair.
Yeah. Surrounded by chained up old ladies.
Surrounded by chained up ladies and like box springs Oh, it's so
Our box
gross.
springs.
Normally, this is all extremely my shit, but like, yeah, I just, it just didn't work very well.
It was hilariously incompetent how they staged this fight to the point where I'm like, am I watching actual footage of two men fighting from some Serbian basement somewhere? So Jasmine gets out of her restraints, and as she's heading out, like the chair just like disintegrates. So I don't know what kind of chair that was. She gets the gun. There's a gun that falls on the ground, and she just fucking unloads on Shannon Deshawn DeLong, and he's fucking toast. That's it for him. They go out. You hear the standard news reports of what just happened and how Phylicia Rashad and her son have been defrauding senior citizens for 20 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reporters catch up with Grace, and they're like, what do you think now that it's over? And she's like, it ain't over, which suggests that she's going to go out hunting for Phylicia because Phylicia wasn't cuffed right, and she's now on the run.
She is on the lam.
So we see Phylicia looking all cleaned up at an old folks home, checking in on her new target and inquiring about her connections to a bank and, funding. So
That
you're like,
she's retired from. So I wondered anyways.
very strange, but you could tell they were wrapping it up. And Phylicia just like, as they close the door, she's like, most impressive. And then it's the classic Tyler Perry smash into the credit roll, like real quick, let you know it is done. Movie done.
Fucking
Mic
like
drop.
mid-frame, like UPM is like already in the middle of the screen.
I love how he does that. I don't know why he does it or what he thinks he's achieving, but it's hitting me just right every time. And Temptation Confessions of a Marriage Counselor has the finest example of this. If you're out there and wanting to check out some deeper hits, you'll never top it. But this one came close.
Just in case you were wondering about Grace, she's off the hook, and she goes on and lives a wonderful life.
She's ready for you to meet her, bitch.
Yeah.
Insinuate yourself into her life.
I will meet her at an art exhibit.
Take her to a hole-in-the-wall diner, Johnny Rockets.
And drink wine.
White wine.
There is one thing that I was wondering throughout this whole movie.
What were you wondering, Josh?
So early in the movie, when Jasmine goes to go see Grace in the prison, Grace comments on her rosary around her neck and says, are you Catholic? And Jasmine's like, yeah, are you? And then there's this brief flashback, I think maybe of her taking communion or something.
What was that all about?
And it was like ominous because then we go back to Grace's face and she kind of has like a haunted look on her face. And then that's it.
Yeah, that was a big red herring, yeah.
I was waiting for that Catholic connection.
No.
Like, I was wishing this was going to be a Stigmata movie, but it didn't turn out to be that.
You know what, Josh? Another thing you're going to realize is some plot threads are just left. He just leaves them be. He gets what he wants out of them, and he just leaves them alone.
And it's kind of brilliant because, I mean, in terms of that old lady scurrying across the background, I thought he left that plot point.
Yes,
I thought
that was never going to connect to anything.
You just never know with him which plot he's going to keep going with and which one he's going to leave forever.
You kind of have to live in the moment with him, kind of like you have to live your life if you're doing it right. Live in the moment, y'all. We are going to figure out what the fuck these Fall from Grace bones are. All right. Brother Lucas, if you are awake, if you are still alive,
I am.
Please.
I've been patiently listening. Yeah,
render your bone count.
It's pretty epic, man. It's a lot to unpack. We definitely got lost in the weeds. It's got a lot of layers, a lot of flashbacks, a lot of red herrings, a lot of misdirection.
A lot more red herrings than Knives Out had, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I was thoroughly entertained from the opening Salad Dragon on through all the aforementioned ones one by one.
The After Dragons.
And we did have to pause it briefly because we just lost it. Like we got the movie got away from us. I will give this 2 bones because Phylicia Rashad, I mean, was so good and cast against type. and playing with her legacy and her image and taking a risk.
I love evil Phylicia.
Genuinely taking a risk. And
Phylicia Gravitas Rashad.
And even her stunt double did great.
2 bones from Brother Lucas. That is generous. We caught him on a good night, y'all. Lodge Mistress Millie.
You know, I always enjoy Tyler Perry. It's always so fun. I know he's going to deliver unexpected things.
Even though you don't come along for his comedies.
No.
One of these days.
I can't do that.
One of these days.
But with his thrillers, he always delivers some great acting, which I'm always interested in. Some very wacky stuff. And that box was checked thoroughly.
Yeah, it was.
And I had a lot of fun, had a lot of laughs.
This is a lot of praise.
But I'm just, you got to 2.5 bones.
2.5 bones from the Lodge Mistress, Brother Ben.
So going into these Tyler Perry movies, I never know exactly what I'm going to get.
You can't know.
And so going in tonight, I literally did not know what this movie was about, but I thought maybe we'll be lucky if this approaches like anywhere near Acrimony.
Right.
I did not think we were going to get something that I think ranks up there with Acrimony.
It's up there.
I just thought this was so, like, once it caught fire, this is like everything you could ask for in a Tyler Perry movie. It was just pure Tyler Perry insanity.
Tyler Perry bedlam.
In fact, the only thing I knew coming into this was that it was going to have because Tyler asked us not to reveal the twist. So I knew there were going to be twists, and it just kept twisting in on itself.
But he's crazy enough that it might not have had twists. Just be like, don't spoil it.
So, I was dumbfounded by this thing. I was enthralled.
Were you gobsmacked?
I was gobsmacked. It is just so thoroughly entertaining. And all of you lodgers out there, it is on Netflix. There's no excuse. Go watch this goddamn thing.
Even if you've listened to this whole thing, even if you've listened to us painstakingly go through beat by beat.
We are not doing it justice.
No.
I can't give it more than 3 bones.
No, you can't.
But it is 3 solid bones. 3 bones.
Love you for that.
Nice.
Very nice, Ben. Brother Bishke, what are you going to do here? You were keeping it real professional, real muted during the movie.
I always keep it muted. But I was laughing with you guys. It was great to see it with you. I really wish I could have seen this in a theater packed with people. Like, that would have been
a proper theater.
So special to see the range of reactions we got out of what we saw on the screen tonight. Tyler Perry surprises us at every turn. Even in the courtroom, we got a wild salad dragon montage. I'm probably going to give it what I give almost all Tyler Perry movies, which is 2.5 bones.
All right.
Because it's just up there with all of them. But I can't give it because I can't give it as much as Cats. But it's 2.5 bones. But see it. Absolutely. Throw it on Netflix. Watch it tonight. You're going to have fun.
That's a recommendation from Brother Bishke. All right. Here's the big question. What's Brother Josh up to here?
What am I up to?
You're a notorious Cats apologist.
Yeah.
Where does this figure in on the spectrum if you choose to put it on the same spectrum?
Well, I mean, I definitely can't get the same amount of entertainment out of a Tyler Perry movie that I do as like a musical that I've unabashedly loved for years and years.
Sure. You'll have to love Tyler Perry for years and years to build up to that status.
It's really hard for me because, yeah, it was entertaining. I did have fun watching it. I think mostly just laughing at it, not really laughing with it, obviously because it's a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And halfway through this launch cast, I was thinking to myself, I was like, wait, is Tyler Perry trying to make like a play at the like woman in the attic gothic like novel plot? And then immediately I was like, no. He's not doing that. And I just don't think that the amount of fun I had compensates for just the dangling plot lines.
You're going to be professional here, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to be professional. I got to give it 1.5 bones.
1.5, okay.
I didn't.
Okay, understood. But listen, you're new to this world. The temperature's just starting to heat up on you. I would be very curious to see what happens once you start navigating more of his comedies, more of his thrillers, and then kind of look back on this one and see where it lands in the vast spectrum of it.
Yeah. I definitely I've not been soured to Tyler Perry by this movie.
Great.
Like, it's good to know that, like, I know to expect something low quality, so I know, like, okay, my expectations are now set.
You got to get in the zone for it. And Brother Ben will help guide you through some of these other titles.
Yes.
Yeah, we pray for Medea's return, and you can join us for that.
We do. Oh, if Medea comes back, Josh, you are guest numero uno on that one. Oh, my God. We will take you to the theater for that for sure.
I was thinking about one other thing I wanted to say about old Tyler Perry in this film, which is, you know, how he usually punishes all the baddie women. I mean, they usually get punished. If they sinned. But you know what? He did not punish Phylicia. And I actually think
she won.
She won. And I actually think that was kind of his Gone Girl Netflix shift.
Yep.
Because if it were straight up TP, I feel like he would have punished the sinner. But he let it play. He let us have a little fun thinking she was going to make another move.
That was different.
And that's a different thing than he usually does.
Very astute.
Very astute. Very astute. You know what? If we're going on the acrimony scale, I did give acrimony 3 bones, and this is definitely acrimony caliber. So I got to stay consistent with 3. I got to give this 3. 1, 2, 3. It starts very slow. There's some sections where you're going to think to yourself, what am I doing? Why am I watching this overwritten piece of shit?
Push through it.
Push.
Push to the final dungeon, salad dragon.
Just Keith, sweat it out. Get through it. You will feel so good on the other side.
The fireflies await you.
The fireflies will surround you.
Lady in red.
The undignified shower will warm you and make you wet. It's an amazing experience. It's one of those movies where you got to see it with a few people. You need to check in with a buddy, at least one. It's Netflix. Press play. Is this for all tastes? No. Do you think our parents would like this?
No.
Quick parent check. No?
My mom would
no
like
way.
Maybe.
Maybe. See? There's a chance. All this movie had to do tonight was to open the door just a crack for Brother Josh, and I'm glad that it did that. Let the light pour in. Brother Josh, Brother Ben, Lodge Mistress Millie, thank you so much for doing this special VOD cast for Tyler Perry's Fall from Grace.
It was my honor.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to keep tracking him.
Tyler Perry Studios.
Wherever he may roam, we'll keep following him.
I do plan to visit Atlanta later in the year, and I do plan to. I've been informed that you can tour Tyler Perry Studios. So
oh my God!
I will report back on that on the next Tyler Perry cast. But as of now, this is the 4th Tyler Perry movie we've done.
Ooh!
Can't wait for the next one.
Bring it on.
Love it. And love and light to all y'all.
Love and light.
Embrace the fireflies. It was mainlining the Tyler Perry cinematic universe, and I was in fucking heaven.